Wow, this is really, really good. Just a really well-made soup, but you're eating it. Gives it complexity, and then you have the fruitiness. Good morning from Bogota. Today is all about Colombian food. Now, Bogota is the perfect place for a Colombian food tour, and that is because so many people from other areas of the country move here, and so you can get traditional, authentic food from around the country, and that's what I'm here for today. Huge caveat here, I'm not sharing all food in Colombia in this video. I only have one day here, but then I'm moving around. I'm gonna be traveling the rest of the country for the next month. So if you love travel and food, please subscribe. If you're Colombian, please don't hate me if I've missed your favorite Colombian food, but please include it in the comments below because I will look out for it in the next video. It is 7:30 a.m. and I am eating at the oldest restaurant in Bogota, La Puerta Falsa. It has been here since 1916. It's mentioned on a lot of top restaurant lists, places you want to visit, but what they don't tell you is that it is tiny. There's a huge mirror here to make it look bigger, but basically it's a little bar downstairs, a little service counter, and then up top there's 1, 2, 3 tables, and again another bar with just stools. So there's not a lot of room. So when I read reviews about this spot, it was that service wasn't great. They tried to turn the tables. But to be honest, that is because later in the day there will be a line. People wait for hours. So my suggestion is actually to come here early. Now, not everything will be available. You're going to be looking at breakfast dishes, but I have a whole table to myself as one person, and there are lots of seats available. Plus, you can try some traditional morning or afternoon foods. And so what I have right here is agua de panela. So that is agua de panela. Panela is a unprocessed sugar cane. It's like brown sugar. If you go into the market, you'll see it in these big blocks. It's used in a lot of food in Latin America, a lot of drinks in Latin America. Very good for you because it's unprocessed. Now, in the coast, they serve it cold with lime or lemon. And here, they don't do that. They only do that if you have a flu. It's good for your throat. You know, they see it as something that helps you. Here, they actually serve it hot. So it's hot. It comes with a cheese that's queso de crema. So it's a little bit chewy, almost like gum. And then we have almohavana, which is a traditional cheese biscuit. And then they also just give you just a little bread with butter on it. So it's 8 a.m. and already this place is packed. Like all of the tables are gone. If I look downstairs, yeah, people are down in the bar. People are starting to be up here. So if you want to come and you just want to have like a nice little breakfast, enjoy your time, I would definitely recommend coming before 8. I started at 7:30. That was good. Although I kind of feel a little bit bad about hogging this whole table to myself. But, you know, early bird catches the worm. Now to try this. This cheese will not melt all the way. It's more like a gummy texture, a little bit of sustenance. It's still really good though. It kind of melts in your mouth. It's salty, very creamy from queso crema. It's sweet because literally this water is just hot panela water, agua panela. This cheese is so good. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, I don't love breakfast, but I do like cheese for breakfast. Now here we have the bread. So this is a traditional cheese bread. It's really just soft, salty, cheesy. You can't go wrong. This is a really fantastic snack if you want something light. I actually think it's nice to get up early to go to a place like this. A little bit sweet, a little bit salty. You're gonna beat the crowds. Come here, it opens at 7. I definitely recommend coming at 7. Now you're gonna miss a lot of the food. So no matter what you read about the reviews, La Puerta Falsa, come early. You're gonna have a great time. So good. Even in really touristy places, fruit cups are always a good idea. Here it's mango, banana, piña, pineapple for $4,000, under $1. off at the Market La Perseverancia, the Perseverance Market. So this market is really popular for locals. People from Bogota flock here on the weekends. It's very crowded. I'm here early. They have traditional Colombian food here, and it is so popular that actually in 2019, it was up against restaurants. The market was up against restaurants for best Colombian food. Now, it's also become very popular with foreigners as well because it was featured in a Netflix series, Street Food Latin America Edition. So it's known to have some of the best traditional Colombian food from around the country. And that's because Bogota is a city of people from all over the country, and especially this market. So I can't wait to try all of the food. I don't know what's there, but I want to eat it all. Since the Netflix special Street Food Latin America, everybody wants to come to the same vendors here at the market, but I think they're missing the bigger story that everyone in this market is worth visiting. There are stories from everywhere. The food is fantastic. It's not just about 3 vendors. It's not just about Tolu, although I am going to have the Ajiaco there, but it's about everyone here. And so I wanted to also visit some other vendors because they're also making some fantastic traditional food. The first dish I'm having is called Changua. So Changua is a very traditional breakfast. It's something that people have in their homes, but it's also something that you can have in the market. And what it does is it makes good use of leftovers. So you've got a milk base, you've got day-old bread, you've got eggs, and then you've got some cilantro. Now, in this case, the bread that they're using is the traditional almohavana. And I've had this before. It's fantastic. A lot of people think maybe having a milk base might be strange, but I grew up on the coast of Canada where we have chowder, and so I really love any kind of milk-based soup. This is hearty. You can see it's steaming. It's warm. It is perfect for this cold, rainy Bogota weather. I don't know if you know this, but it rains almost every day in Bogota, I think except for a couple of days of the year, and it's always slightly cool. So I might be sleeveless, but I also have a jacket with me. Oh. Oh my God, this is so good. I don't love breakfast, but I love savory breakfast. This is full of fresh flavor, fresh herbs. Like you can see, it's unctuous. It has that bread that makes it a little bit filling. I think some people would have like a bread pudding for breakfast in some cultures, and this is very similar to that, making good use of those leftovers. This is the perfect comfort food. I think it's almost as I would equate it to Colombian, like an oatmeal breakfast, but so much better than oatmeal. So you've got poached eggs, some bread in it, but also it's not heavy because it has all of these fresh herbs in it. It's just light and bright with that cilantro, and then topped with cheese. It's warm, it's comforting. It is the perfect cold weather breakfast. Now this is a typical Andean breakfast, but you'll find it all over Colombia, and it's really all about that broth. Now you can find very modest soups where it's just mostly broth, a little bit of potato, a little maybe bit of bone. In this case, they were very generous, so I have half the potato, 3 little bits of rib, and this broth. Wow, this is really, really good. So it's slow cooked, and it's all really about that broth. In this case, you get a rich beef broth, and then you have that brightness of the cilantro. So good. Wow. This is the kind of thing where if you're not feeling, maybe you're hungover, maybe you're guayabos, but maybe you're sick, this is the kind of thing that you want to have because it has that rich beefy broth, but it's not too heavy. Well, maybe you do want the changua because it fills your stomach. But I can see why this is so popular. So it's very common in Bogota that if people are out for a night of partying, they actually don't go home. They eat this first and then they go to bed. And that is what cures your hangover. Delicious. This potato is cooked perfectly. You can see it's so tender. This is delicious. to this market, I've got one piece of advice. Don't come on the weekends and come early. I'm half following that advice. I am here on a Sunday, but I got here at 8 o'clock. It's 10:30 now, and it's already becoming very busy. They're putting more tables outside to accommodate people. But if you come here for lunch, expect to actually wait for a table. That is something I did not want to do. If you watch the Netflix series, you will know that there were two sisters who were making bandeja paisa and then also Tamal Tolimense. And so tamales in Bogota really change from region to region. Each region, when you look at it, when you eat it, it's really using the traditional techniques and the traditional ingredients from that region. Here, it is a very common tamal to try, and it is with masa, which is corn. And then in this one, I can see we've got some pork, we've got some pork skin, I see some onion, some potato, some carrot, some corn. It's like if you could take like a stew and turn it into like a meat and potatoes, starch and meat kind of form, that is what it would be. It's cooked in a plantain leaf, it's steamed, and then it just comes out as this like really comforting food. The meat is tender, falls off the bone. Some of that. It's like a soup. It's like the feeling of having just a really well-made soup, but you're eating it. Like you're chewing it. Here with this pork, it has such a nice porky flavor, and then you get just this creamy, filling masa. So good. So tamales are those kinds of foods, like a lot of the food that you'll find in Colombia, especially in the Andes. This food is meant to be comforting, but also very rich and hearty. And that's because you eat this and it will sustain you through the day. So if you're working, if it's cold out, it's rainy, this is something that kind of fuels you throughout the day. But it's always really tasty. I find in Colombia, they do soups very well. They do broths very well. It's all about that cooking low and slow. But if you want to try a lot of things, you definitely need to split. Portion sizes here are huge. And you see people here, especially in Bogota, they're so lean. And I'm like, I don't know how I would do it. If I lived here, I would really pack on the pound. And here's the best part. Despite the fame of Netflix, this remains a true local market. It's busy, but it's still really for locals. So all of this, the Netflix dish, it's still only 6,000 Colombian pesos. I've got to be honest, when I saw the Netflix special, the place that I wanted to go to most was not the Ajiaco, it was actually La Caseta del Tinto. And that is because they serve arepas. Arepas are life in Colombia. It's probably what you would consider to be bread in Canada and the United States. It's served with everything. It's eaten all different types of the day. You can get arepas made of many different ways. You can get them griddled, you can get them fried. I actually don't like them fried. I find them a little bit too greasy. I like mine a la plancha. I like them griddled. And here, Doña Bertha actually makes them from scratch. So I knew I had to come here because I'm not from here, I'm gringa. So I'm not really going to appreciate a good arepa the way that I should. But if I'm going to have it, if I'm going to eat one, it's gonna be from here. And that's because she processes it completely homemade. It starts with corn, actually processes it from the corn, grinds it, makes it. They make it hot to order. This place is so busy. I had already planned to come to this market, but if I hadn't seen the show, I wouldn't have known about her. She told me here, inside, there's also some cheese. Oh yeah, I can see that salty cheese in here. It's so warm. Actually, when they first gave it to me, it burned my hand. I had to put it down right away. That's when they come out hot, they come out hot. Oh yeah. Just like that salty Colombian cheese. It's just corn and cheese and it's so delicious. Oh, very light. Griddled on the outside, so it has a little bit of crust, but in the inside, really, really soft. This is really good. I have had arepas before, and I've never really gotten why they're so important, but these ones are delicious. If you're just gonna try one, this is the one to have. Also in the special, I noticed that they had this jug that no one talked about. But when I go to a place, I always want to try the traditional drink. Juices are fantastic in Colombia. Fruit juices are amazing. But Colombia also has a lot of really interesting drinks. A lot of them are fermented. And so I asked them about this, and she said it's called mazota. So mazota of rice. And what this is it's a fermented rice drink. Rice is allowed to ferment for a few days and then is mixed with it. But it's a very traditional drink. I've never seen it anywhere else but here. Oh, wow. Okay, right here, you can feel it right here. It is definitely a fermented drink. It almost reminds me of chicha a little bit in Ecuador. Like you get that fermented little, like back here, you feel it. So to have this experience, to try this mazota, try the arepa, this was only 3,000 Colombian pesos. What a deal, homemade, very traditional food that you're not gonna find elsewhere. All right, I went back and asked if there was pineapple in it because it had this like almost pineapple citrusy flavor to it. There's nothing in here but rice and cinnamon. That is it. The recipe, it's all the fermentation flavor, but like, it's almost effervescent. That's how interesting it is. I've never had, it's a little like chicha, not quite like chicha. I've never had anything that was as simple as rice and cinnamon fermented that tastes like this. This is an incredible experience. And as I'm filming this, I see like over there, there's a guy that's actually serving, it says Chicha de mi abuela, his grandmother's chicha. So now I kind of want to try that too. I'm waiting for the ajiaco. The ajiaco, they told me they don't start serving until 12, and I got a little bit of time left, so maybe I will try that chicha. Okay, so I had to go over to try that chicha. I am just a sucker for traditional drinks. I see things and I'm like, I have to try it. Because things like chicha, which is fermented corn, you can't really find in a lot of places, like maybe Peru, Colombia. You don't see it in a lot of other places. I'm gonna look for it in Asia when I go later this year. But this is Chicha de la Abuela, or the grandmother's chicha. He's selling these bottles. This is a small one for 5,000. He also has a larger one, but you can try it first. And so he gives you a little bit to try, and then it is only corn. It's fermented corn, fermented for 15 days. And then he adds a little bit of miel de caña, or sugarcane syrup to it. So the bottle itself, you can see it's not completely full, and that's because if you need a little bit of syrup, he can put it in. But when you open it opens up like a bottle of pop, like that effervescence, and that's because it's fermented. I was again blown away by the fact that this was just corn. It smells and tastes like fruit. It almost tastes like a little bit mango-y, and again, like that pineapple flavor. I don't know if you've ever had pineapple where it starts to become too ripe and it actually ferments. That's actually what it smells like, and a little bit of what it tastes like. Chicha is one of my favorite things. It's very good for your stomach. You know, all those people who are into kombucha, this is another fermented drink, 5,000. It's well worth supporting, you know, entrepreneurs who are bringing back all of these traditional drinks, because chicha is fantastic. Good news and bad news. So, bad news. Tolu is packed. I got there at 10 to 12. All the seats were already taken. So, I'm not going to be eating ajiaco there. The good news though is I have a friend, Will, who told me another spot that has fantastic traditional Colombian food. So I'm gonna go for a walk, 40 minutes. God, I need it, I ate so much. And I'm gonna try ajiaco and a bunch of other traditional Colombian foods. All right, I made it to my next stop. I'm at Pasteleria La Florida, and this is an institution. It's been around since 1936. It is known for its pastries, its bread. It's also the home of a lot of traditional Colombian food. So that is why I'm here, but I'm here for one thing very specific, which is coming shortly. What I like about this is not only are you getting the chocolate, but they give you also a little sampler plate of bread. So we've got just regular bread. We've got the almohambana, which is like a cheese bread, and I believe this is pan de yuca. Or this might be the cheese bread and this is the pan de yuca. I won't know until I try it. Well, why don't I try it? Oh, that is good. That's the cheese bread. Oh, that's good. It's almost like a cheesy cornbread. And pan de yuca. Yuca is one of the best things. This bread, if you like bread, is fine, but I don't think it's anything special. And then they also give you a little bit of marmalade and butter. So this is a really great afternoon snack. I ate all of that food, but I did walk. And so I feel like now I deserve a little treat. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, it's starting to melt. Oh yeah. There we go. See, it's starting to get like that easiness. Oh, I love it. Not the most graceful thing, but it's good. This is a great drink. Such a wonderful stop. There is lots of seating. Definitely go upstairs. So I want to thank Will for this suggestion because this is a fantastic stop. I love just having a little spot where I can pop in, have a drink, have a little bite. Only 15,000 Colombian pesos. But this is not the last thing I'm going to eat because I still have not had Ajiaco. Fortunately, I did have one place that I heard was good in my back pocket. So I think after this, I'm gonna walk a little bit more. 4 weeks later, I'm finishing up this video about traditional Colombian food. I couldn't find an ajiaco that I wanted to share in Bogota. And then when I got to the airport, I saw there's a Cumbia house here. Cumbia house is a restaurant that serves traditional Colombian food. There's one in the Chapinero neighborhood in Bogota, downtown. But it's famous not only for its food, but it's also owned by Carlos Vives, who is probably one of the most celebrated Colombian singers, musicians. There are photos of him everywhere. Right there is him singing La Bicicleta with Shakira. This is a great spot for your last taste of Colombian food in Colombia because ajiaco is the #1 dish that you should have. If you can only eat one thing in Bogota, one thing in Colombia, it should probably be ajiaco. And that's what we're gonna have today. Now, before I share the most important food to have in Bogota, did you know that 68% of people who watched my last video are not subscribed to my channel? So if you love travel and food, you love local spots, please subscribe. And if you are already a subscriber, tell me, which Colombian food would you want to try first? If you've been lucky enough to travel to either Cuba or Peru, you might have heard of ajiaco, although it's a little bit different here. In Cuba, it's served more as a stew, and in Peru, it's so regional. It's served so many different ways. Here in Bogota, there's a very specific style that is different, and this is why it's worth trying. And that is because it's chicken in a broth with herbs called guayascas, which are unique to here. You need to have 3 different types of potato. It's also served with avocado, rice, and cream that you put into it along with capers. It gives it a very unique taste. I'm so glad I'm having this before I go. So good. Really good shredded chicken. Those capers give it like a brininess, gives it complexity, and then you have the fruitiness of this avocado. So good. I don't put a lot of rice in mine because I don't love white rice, but also because the portion sizes tend to be large. You don't need it. This is great. I would say if you can't go to the market or you were like me and you couldn't have the version from Mama Lou's, this is also fantastic. Patreon community for more behind the scenes and exclusive content you won't find elsewhere. You can also find me on Instagram, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. All of these things make my day. Thank you so much for